And let me share my screen with you guys. And we are going to jump into this training on momentum. And as you guys know, I'm never original with anything that I do. I'm always stealing information from someone else. So I'm excited about what I learned, because I literally was kind of doing this for myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll share this on our coaching chat. But how do you create, sustain, and inspire momentum? So maybe you've got momentum going personally, and maybe you've had it going for a while, so you're sustaining it. So how do you then inspire it as well? So momentum, we not only want to personally get momentum going, but we want to bring our team with us and get them moving forward in the right direction. So how is it? So momentum, this is the formula for momentum. It's focused intensity over a period of time. And so it was, who talked about focus? Yvette. Yvette talked about Precious helping her get focused. So who in your downline needs to help get focused? And maybe it's somebody who maybe they're not all in yet, but maybe they just need a little bit of focus to get them going in the right direction. And what can you say to inspire somebody to begin building momentum? So it's helping them get focused, have intensity with their focus on something in particular. And if you remember, Yvette said it was Precious is challenging them for, what'd you say, Yvette, 30 minutes? 30 minutes a day?
30 minutes, or it could be an hour, and it's back-to-back blitz with March Madness.
Okay, I love it. So focused intensity over a period of time. So I'm thinking for myself, I've had to step away, I'm stepping back, and I have to get really focused on certain things to get that momentum going, and I have to do it for a period of time. And, maybe it's going to be more intense focus than maybe what I usually do, but it doesn't mean I got to do it for the next 20 years. It's a short period of time that I am going to really hone in on certain activities and focus on those activities to ensure that I get this momentum going again. And so an article I read, I pulled out, there were 8 things that it talked about. If you want to get momentum going, what does it take? So the first thing is set some powerful goals. And I'm going to share with you, this is my PBC report. So you guys get looked at and thought about a lot. But if you see this box here, what I did, there's nothing really there that you need to know, but that's what I need to do to get to my next position in Juice Plus. I want to get to PMND Plus, and I know how much I need. 40,000 more PBC points. I need one team to add 2 more partners. I need another team to add 4 more partners. And I want to get help one of my team members get to QSSC. So there's 4 things that I need to focus on personally, and I know exactly, their names are in that box, and I know exactly what they need to do and what I need to do to help them get there. So think about what's your next position in this business. Are you going to sales coordinator, qualifying senior sales coordinator, qualifying sales coordinator, or maybe senior sales coordinator? So think about what's my next goal, and then literally break it down and write it down every day if you have to, so that you are hyper focused on what that goal is. And we don't want a ton of goals. Maybe it's like Yvette was talking about. I am going to have on my phone twice a day, I get a reminder that I need to take an hour, and I focus on prospects. And when that buzzer goes off in this afternoon, I take an hour and I focus on reaching out to my customers. So what is your goal? that's going to help you get to your next position? And do you have it written down, and do you look at it? So if we want momentum, we got to know where we're going and what we have to do to get there. Number 2, get motivated. You know, we can be motivated by other people, but true motivation has to come from within. So here's my question is, have you made the decision to be motivated? You know, when we kind of have to step away for whatever reason, it's hard to jump back in and get motivated. I mean, I'm feeling that personally. So I literally had to this weekend, over the weekend, sit down and say, okay, I've got to get my head back in the game. What is it going to take for me personally? And for me, it's getting organized. And so I've got 2 forms here. One is, this is what I call my hot hands list. And if I'm your upline NMD, a lot of you on here might be either, Brenda might be your upline NMD, or Linda might be your upline NMD, or Stacy or Letty. But if I'm your direct upline NMD, chances are your name's on this form. And what I know is I want to make sure everyone on the back and front of this form, those people know I am there to support them. If they want me to hold them accountable, I will. If they want me to text them every day, call them every day, whatever they need, I want to be their girl to help them get there. So who on your team needs focused attention? Who on your team needs focused attention? Then this list is just my hot hands list. And we're going to look at it in a minute. And what I started doing is saying, okay, what prospects do I need to reach out to this week? What follow-ups? What customers do I need to touch base with? And what partners especially do I need to touch base with? And that got me motivated because I knew where I was going. And I was able to head into today knowing I'm motivated to get busy on that list. So, do you have a list? Do you have a system? I love the fact that Riley had said it was getting a system and getting held accountable to that system. The next thing is get inspired. I can't wait for our call at 1. This is going to be a phenomenal call. These are the cream of the cream of the cream in our company all around the world. And we have a chance to get inspired. So how are you getting inspired? And we get inspired, other people inspire us. We have to motivate ourselves. That's part of being in business for ourselves. But we can get inspired by other people. And so at least once a week, getting on calls, back to Riley. Riley, you're in my frame, so I'm picking on you today. But she made the comment of the NMD who inspired her in what she told her to do. So who are you listening to and how are you getting inspired? Number 4, learn good habits. And we're going to circle back around, but back to this thing. I know Karen Farrell. I got about 4 of you in my sights, so you're going to get picked on. But I know Karen has a system, and I know she works her system. Do you have a system? It may be a simple piece of paper. It may be a notebook. It may be Teamsy. It may be a spreadsheet. The system doesn't matter. What matters is, are you using a system? So learn good habits. And we're going to circle back around to point number 4. Number 5, commit to improvement. You know, the fact that I'm just looking at kind of back to Cheryl. Cheryl made a point of, you know, that she said Sandy, her upline, continues to drip on her and invest in her. But it was, and I can't remember your wording, Cheryl, but it was kind of like the light bulb went off and was like, you know what? Sandy's kind of given me here's what you need to be doing. It was that commitment that Cheryl's beginning to say, you know what? I'm committed to improving and developing and learning the ropes in this business and really building a strong business. And the fact that Cheryl's on this call today and each one of you shows that commitment to improvement. And that's, I don't care how long we've been in this business, is always getting better. I know that Brenda and I have been talking about being part of, and we'll talk about this at a later time. It's called Project Broadcast. And it's like, oh my goodness, do I really want to step in? And I'm seeing all that's involved with this, but I think it's going to really set our business on fire. So we will share with you what that's all about. But I realize it's going to require me some improvement. And so we're going to require me to step outside my comfort zone a bit. So are you willing to commit to that improvement? Act brave. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 6, summon the strength. So let me ask you something. My pastor, Andy Stanley, has been going through a series, and it's called Better Questions, Better Results, I believe is what the series was. But his whole thing is, are we asking ourselves the right questions? And one of the questions is, the very first one is, am I being truthful with myself? Really? Am I being truthful with myself? Really? So when I read that point number 6, summon the strength, am I really giving this business my all? You know, and that question to myself, last night was at about 8:30, and all I wanted to do was turn on Netflix and just veg out. And then I thought, but you know what? If I'm really wanting to build that momentum back up in my business, it's going to require a little more of me than normal. And can I summon the strength to literally sit down and really look at this project broadcast and start really learning and growing and figuring out, what do I need to do to implement this and help build momentum in my business? Can I summon the strength when I really don't want to? I want to be lazy and watch Netflix. And that question to myself, am I really being truthful with myself? Am I really too tired to do what I knew I had time to do? So are you really digging deep, summoning the strength that you need to really invest in this business and to build it and grow it to the level you want it to be? And then number 7, act brave. You know, when I think about acting brave, it's the action that produces confidence. Every time I'm afraid to do something, when I step out and I act upon it, that's when the confidence comes. So if you're on here thinking, you know, I'm not quite confident reaching out and talking to this person or that person, when we take action, that's when we build our confidence. So my challenge to you this week is to act brave. Who are those people you've been shying away from? And I've got some people on my list that I'm going to make myself act and build that confidence. I'm going to act brave, and consequently, I'm going to build that confidence I need. And then lastly, start over if need be. And one of the best stories I've heard, and I've heard him tell it a lot of times, by David Beaver. He talks about having his business up and going, but it wasn't going anywhere, and he needed momentum. And he was just kind of like sitting in the mud puddle, splashing around about his business. It wasn't where he wanted it to be. And he said he was talking to his aunt, Jackie Beavers was his upline, I think. And he said he was talking to his aunt, or maybe it was Kurt Beavers, his cousin. Anyway, he said, or nephew, I guess Kurt's his nephew. He said when he was talking to either one of them, he said, they looked at him and they said, where's your PBC report? Because he was whining about he didn't have a team and they weren't working hard and they weren't doing what they needed to do. And he said, I think it may have been Kurt. He said, Kurt just took his PBC report and just ripped it half, ripped it again, and threw it in the trash. And he said, you need to start over. And David was just like appalled that he would do that. And he said, if that team is really what you're saying they are, that it's them and not you, then you need to start over. And it was that act of literally ripping up that PBC report and saying, start over then. If you're not getting, and I remember that Bob Beavers used to always, or Bob Burdick used to always say, if you're not getting enough milk out of the cows you got, go get new milk, or go get new cows. And I never forgot about that. It's like, don't whine about your current situation, Elaine. Go find new people. And that new always brings momentum. And so I love those points, and I'm going to keep going back over them as I personally am working toward building my own personal momentum. And then here's what I kind of wanted to share with you is, do you have a plan, a weekly plan? And I love and use Teamsy every single week. But what I learned is I kind of got away from my written plan because I said, well, I'm using Teamsy. Teamsy works for me by helping me track everything. But I really realized I've got to get back into planning my week out. Who are 4 people? Who are 4 prospects I need to reach out to? Who are 4 people I need to follow up with? Who are 4 customers that maybe I need to just check in with? I love the other day, and maybe next week we'll do this, on an NMD call, Stacy Whitmer was sharing her verbiage when she called her customers, how the verbiage she asked to get, and let me see, where'd my notebook go? I don't have it in front of me, but the verbiage when she was making those customer phone calls, the verbiage she was using to ask them for a referral. And it wasn't like, hey, can you refer someone to me? But it was awesome. Awesome. Who do you know needs this Juice Plus? Look at what it's done for you. And so we're gonna take some time and really flush out some of that verbiage. But if we're not making customer phone calls, we're not going to have an opportunity. And every time I've ever went back and tracked, about 45 to 48% of my customers are referrals from other customers. So if you want to build your customer base, talk to your current customers. And then lastly, what partners on your team need to hear from you? You guys, we can't just bring people on and let them just kind of stagger around. We need to lock arms with them and run with them and help them and celebrate every success along the way so that they know this community is here to help them. Invite them to this call. Get them on the call with us, because I think it was Aaron talked about community. If you want people to really become active with their Juice Plus business, get them on these calls. Get them on our team pages. Get them to our events that we're having, because that's going to pull them into the community, and they are absolutely going to love this community that we're a part of. And so that's kind of my game plan. I just wanted to share it with you guys as well, of getting that momentum up and running again. And for me personally, and anybody who wants to chat with me about this momentum, if you're at a place that you're like, okay, I'm ready to get momentum up and going as well, then I would love to chat with you. And let's take a minute and yay, we got a lot more people on the call. Someone is saying, Riley is saying, can you share the weekly plan? Absolutely, I'll post that on Team Extreme. Let me hear from maybe some more of you. I heard everyone who shared, you're like, dang, everybody's doing great from a momentum standpoint. Is anybody vulnerable enough like me to share and say, I'm back down to 1 on my momentum. I've been out of it. I'm ready to soar and build my momentum. Anybody else below a 5 on momentum saying, hey, okay, good. Dale's with me. Thank you, Dale. You got some tips here that I will share to help you get going. Miracle's got a thumbs up. So I've missed chat with Miracle. Miracle and I talk a lot, and we've been out of pocket since I've been in Ohio with my brother. Sometimes, you guys, that momentum is simply by connecting with somebody. And as in the beginning, those of you who weren't on the call yet, everyone who shared, almost every one of you said accountability was what was a missing piece in building your momentum to where it was. So let me throw this out. Just by a show of hands, Tish has a thumbs up. Who here has an account? And it's a two-part question. I have an accountability partner, and my accountability partner is keeping me accountable. Now, if you got an accountability partner, but they're not keeping you accountable, it doesn't count. They're just a sweet friend, but they're not your accountability partner. So you have to have yes to both. Yes, I have an accountability partner, and yes, they are holding my feet to the fire. Who has a double yes? So Yvette's got a double yes. Riley's got a double yes. Karen, Brenda. Okay. So what I say, is that 4 people? Miracle. You do have, I've been out of pocket, so I know I haven't been holding you accountable. Do you have a accountability partner, Miracle?
Absolutely. My mother has stayed on me.
Hey!
So, because she loves this business, you know, and I love it as well. But she saw the vision before I actually decided. And, you know, originally you met my mom
love her.
Before I actually considered the business for myself. So she's always seen the business side and the possibilities of how I could create an income while I'm finishing my degree.
I love it. I love it. Yay, Yvette or Yvonne. I'm so glad. So Miracle has one. Her mom, I love that. Who here has an accountability partner, but they're not holding your feet to the fire? Anybody? Nobody's going to burn any bridges.
Brenda is the sweetest. She's the sweetest accountability partner. I think I need a little more flames. But she's the best.
Well, we are going to.
So nice.
Yeah, we got. Okay, so maybe, and this may be part of it, is maybe we need some accountability questions that we are asking each other. That may
and
be
that's really helped. That's really helped.
Yep.
Like she'll ask, like, did you follow up with them? Are you going to follow up with them? But so like she's great. She's just become one of my like best friends. So she's so sweet.
Well, we all need them. We all need the accountability partners, and we need to like have those. Maybe that's what I'm gonna make myself a set of notes. Questions for accountability. If you partner, if you want an accountability partner, put your name in the chat and we'll try to get people connected with people. But here's another thing. Who in your downline do you need to help hold accountable as their upline? And have you asked them? So Cheryl, you got some new partners. So what about, have you ever asked them, are they open?
Yeah, see, I was just thinking that when you were talking about all of this. Sandy's keeping me accountable, but she asked me today about 2 of my partners, and I have not done the same thing with them. So, and I'm thinking, you know, yeah, I want Sandy to keep me accountable, but I want to be accountable to myself. So I have not written things down.
Okay. I think, Cheryl, you may be frozen on us. All right, we may have to come back and hear the rest of Cheryl's piece. It just froze for a second. Okay, so I loved what she just said. Hopefully she'll come back here in a minute. She wanted to be accountable to herself. How many on this will be honest and say, I'm willing to be accountable?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if we're willing and we truly want it, then we got to, 1, get an accountability partner, and 2, come up with something that they're going to hold you accountable with, either with questions or, you know, I was sitting there thinking when Riley was talking, maybe we give each other a penny for every unfinished, what I want to say, thing on our weekly plan or something. I don't know. Somehow we got to figure out how to really hold, because truly that's what an accountability partner does. And so we want to be accountable. We want to help our team be accountable. Sometimes that's not a fun word, but it's something that we need. In this business, we don't have a boss. We don't punch a time card. And that's one of the nicest things about this business. But it also, one of the beautiful things can also be a weakness for us in our business. And so finding either your upline, your downline, a sideline that you literally can lock arms with, or do a Voxer, where you're taking a picture. Here's my plan, and here's how many checks, here's what I did, and here's who I didn't connect with. I think that's what I have to need, and what I personally need, and am going to ask for. Are you answering a question, or you got something you want to share with us, Yvette?
Something I want to share, because I do need to follow up with my team too. And what I've learned from you and Brenda is when we do reach out and ask you for something, you guys just don't give us the answer. You ask us, what will we say? And that helps too. So that way, for us that's reaching out to our team members, instead of just giving them the answer, ask them, so what did you plan on saying to them? What did you want to send? Just so you can be more comfortable with what you're going to send out.
I wanted
to share that.
I love that. And that's almost like a step forward before, like, we're asking, does someone want us to hold them accountable? Part of that is maybe making sure that I've trained them well enough and they know what to say. Sometimes some people come into this business, man, it just comes second nature to them, and they know what to say. They know how to say it. Not everyone. We all struggle at different areas and different times in this business. So maybe before the asking about that accountability is to really say, do you feel like you have the training you need to have that confidence to go out there and talk to people? And so maybe if we're not seeing someone be accountable, maybe that confidence isn't there, and we need to back it up a step and really help them get the verbiage down. And that's a really good point of that. I'm glad you brought that up. So, all right. Well, I know we're kind of coming to the tail end. I'm going to